Hi there, and welcome to the second in a series of videos planned to help parents navigate ManageBac. The ManageBac is a website for teachers, students, and parents that helps facilitate a full international baccalaureate education. In addition to simply being a place to share assignments, calendars, and information, Signal Mountain is using ManageBac as a tool to help communicate a student's proficiency in various skills beyond just a simple percentage. In the first video, we talked about some of the basics of navigating ManageBac. In the second video, we're going to dive a little deeper into ManageBac. We're going to look at where the heart of the software is, the academic section. We're going to talk about units and talk about all the information that you can get about your student and about your student's class. Now, as before, I'm logged into ManageBac as just a fake account, Parent McFake. Remember, Parent McFake has two students, John McFake and Sally McFake. Click on the student that you want to view the information about that student. In the last video, we talked about most of these, but this year we're going to talk about the academics page. So we're going to go to John McFake's academic page. This is all about John. This is about how John is doing and what John has to do in his classes. Now, we come to this page, there's a lot of different things going on here. First, I want to draw your attention to the bottom. On the bottom are two options talking about services action and the personal project. Now, some students, this isn't very appropriate. This video is going to be geared mostly to MYP students because MYP students all will see basically the same thing here. If your student is a 11th or 12th grader that is not in a diploma program class, you still should be able to get unit information. Check on the tasks page for a assignment that says something like cells unit information or medieval history unit information. That task is going to have a document that you can download and learn all the information we're going to see here. If your student is a diploma program student, things are going to look a little bit differently. The diploma program is sort of different, works differently than a lot of these things, and we can deal with that in a later video. But I'm first going to look at the academics page. I'm going to look at the classes I have. Now, note you can select which term you'd like to look at. So right now we're going to look at the first semester. You could select second semester as well. As this video is being done over Christmas break, the second semester is not going to have a lot of information. And here are the classes my student John McFake is enrolled in. Got English, Spanish, history, chemistry, and geometry. Let's take a look at that chemistry class. On the right-hand side, you'll notice these little sideways arrows. Clicking on that will open up a lot more information about the class. Now, the first thing you see is the tasks bar. The tasks bar is going to give you all the information on tasks. Now, a task is usually an assignment, something the student has to do. Now, right away, you see a bar graph. We're going to get to that in a second. But below, you'll see all the assignments that student was assigned. And if you want to learn more about the assignment, you can simply click on it. For example, find an article. There's some instructions, and here's some files. You can click and download those files, and student can do that do that assignment at home. Now, you'll notice most of these are formative assessments. Formative assessments are assessments given inside of a unit that help the students learn how to do something or learn how something works. There are also summative assessments. In the middle years program, in every unit, your child will have a summative assessment. This is an assessment that sums up how well did they do on that particular thing. For example, at the bottom here, we have a temperature elevation lab, which was a summative assessment for our matter chapter. And if I expand that out, I can see not only what the assignment was, I can also see how well my student did. In this case, this 7 out of 8, and it tells you what a 7 out of 8 means. This is much better than a simple percentage where you say, oh, 85%. What does that mean? Well, this explains how well John is able to do. For this other criteria, they got a 5 out of 8. Don't think about these numbers as a simple percentage. A 5 out of 8 doesn't mean that John's a failing student. ManageBac is able to tell you what John is actually able to do. This type of grading, combined with the traditional percentage of an 80 or 90 or 95, is going to make a much rounder image, much more full image of what that student needs to do. And you see sometimes you'll see a little comment down here. Now, these summative assessments the grades on those assessments are what you see at the top. At the top, you're going to see, in this case, I had 3 summative assessments for the first semester, and these are the grades that John got. I just made them up, honestly, but you can see where your student is in that class. You can go through all the classes and see all the summative assessments. You can even see the teacher's name. Look at that, this fine gentleman right here. These are the tasks. This will allow you to keep up with what's going on, what has happened. Now you notice on the left-hand side, there's actually 2 different icons. These icons with a little tray with an out arrow, this indicate an assignment that the student needs to turn in a paper. On ManageBac, we'll actually accept Word files or Excel files from students to turn in directly to ManageBac. Most of the time, most assignments probably don't do that. They're just a thing there telling them what to do, but some of them actually need to be turned in online. Okay. Now let's go to the Units tab. In the middle years program, all the stuff we do is organized into units. Now, the idea of the International Baccalaureate program is that we're going to use the content that we have to cover, all those Tennessee state standards, but we're going to use it in a way that's hopefully designed to help the student learn stuff, learn how to do things, or learn a deeper understanding. So we divide our course of subject into units. These units may be a short thing with 1 chapter. They may be multiple chapters, but they're all designed, the unit is all designed to be gathered around one theme. So in this case, we have 6 units for our honors chemistry class. The units are listed in order of when they're covered. And the current unit, you see matter is our current unit because there is a little graph out here telling you how many weeks have passed, how many weeks are left. And this tells you it's a 14-week unit. Now, I did extend that date a little bit so you'd see a current unit because it's currently Christmas break and there is no current unit, but you get the idea. Below, you see the teachers who are contributors to this unit. These are the 2 of the chemistry teachers at Signal Mountain. If I expand this out, I get a lot of good information about the unit. Now, for example, this is our matter unit, and we're covering matter to teach some important chemistry standards for the state of Tennessee. Now, there are a ton of ways that I could teach these, tons of focuses I could take. So we need to take this and focus down the content and concepts that I'm required to teach into a package that students can understand and digest. So you see here we have key concepts, related concepts, relationships, interaction between different properties, and patterns of different properties. These are 3 focuses I decided to focus on in this unit. I wanted to focus on graphing and how different variables, when they're plotted together and you look at the patterns between the 2 of them, there's a relationship between the 2 of them, we can learn things about what's going on with the chemistry. These key concept and related concept is combined together to the conceptual understanding. In this case, it says relationships can be determined by observing the patterns of interaction. Now that's a very general statement, but this is what I want the kids to know how to do at the end of the unit. Combined with the conceptual understanding is a global context. The global context is designed to help the students understand where does this content that we're covering in this unit fit into the bigger picture. And so I've included stuff about mathematical principles because I want to look at how the relationships of these different variables and the patterns formed via the interactions will relate mathematically. So if I combine these 2 together, we get the biggie. And this statement of inquiry is the biggie for the unit. The statement of inquiry says that mathematical relationships can be determined by observing patterns of interaction. This statement of inquiry is my mission statement for the entire unit. Everything that I do as a teacher in this unit, everything your student does throughout this unit is designed to help them either understand the statement of inquiry more, learn more about it, or maybe be assessed on how well they know this. The summative assessment for this chapter, this unit, was actually a lab where they had to look at patterns of interaction of different compounds and derive mathematical relationships between them. This was able to test how well they were able to understand the statement of inquiry. You can find this information about all the units. Again, middle years program, the units will be right here. If you're a 11th and 12th grade student that does not have a diploma program class, you'll find this unit information within the tasks the class is assigned, so you simply go up here, hit tasks. And diploma program works a little bit differently, and those units will be built out as we move throughout this year. They just changed how they want the units to be done. So these are units in the academics tab, very important. Now, also on top of these tabs here within your academics tab is portfolio. The portfolio is sort of nice. This is a compilation of all the papers and documents that your child has submitted to ManageBac. Now, you may not need this every day, but if you do need it, it's right here. For example, I look at sciences. I can see that on December 30th, 2014, that my student turned in a gamma ray paper. John McFake turned this in. I can click on that paper, and I can read the paper. And, yep, gamma ray is very exciting. Okay, if your child has been using ManageBac heavily in their classes, you're going to see a lot of documents as you go throughout here. On the Reports tab, right now the Reports tab is empty, but by the time you get access to ManageBac, this should have a report. Every term, every semester, we compile a MYP achievement report about your student, telling not what percentage of things your student got right, but as we saw before, how well is your student able to do in these different areas, these 4 different areas that IB is assigned for every subject. This report will give you a lot of good information about what your student does, and together with the Hamilton County report card that includes percentage of everything, you can get a much more clear picture of where your student is academically. As you can see, there's a lot of good information in here, and it can be a little bit overwhelming at times. So play around, take a look at some of the options within ManageBac, and please let us know at school if we can be of any further use or help as we work together to make this a great school for your students. Thank you very much.